Good morning, student. I am Parampreet Kaur from Kids International School. Today I am going to teach you chapter 1 Resources. First we will discuss about definition of resource. Resources. What is resources? Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. कुछ भी जो हमारी ज़रूरतों को पूरा करता है उसे हम कहते हैं रिसोर्स. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल द वाटर यू ड्रिंक, जो पानी हम पीते हैं किस लिए पीते हैं? अपनी प्यास बुझाने के लिए. व्हेन यू आर थर्स्टी. द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यू यूज़ इन योर हाउस. द रिक्शा you use to get home from school. So water, electricity, rickshaw are example of resource. Now next types of resources. Resources are generally classified into natural, human-made and human. First is natural resources. Those resources which are obtained from the nature and are useful for human beings. This is called as natural resources. For example, the air we breathe, the water in our rivers and lakes, the soils, minerals are all natural resources. Many of these resources are free gifts of nature and can be used directly. Second is human resources. Natural resources become resources only when their original form has been changed. Example, use of natural resources to make buildings, car, buses, road, bridge, etc. Second is classification of resources. First, classification on the basis of renewability. A. Renewable resources. Renewable resources are the natural resources which can be used again and again. वो रिसोर्सेज जिन्हें हम दोबारा यूज़ कर सकते हैं उसे हम कहते हैं रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज. री मीन्स अगेन एंड अगेन. सो दोज रिसोर्सेज विच कैन बी यूज्ड अगेन एंड अगेन और उनकी अनलिमिटेड क्वांटिटी प्रेजेंट है, ऐसे रिसोर्सेज रिन्यूएबल हैं. For example, solar energy, air, water and soil are some of the renewable resources. B is non-renewable resources. Those material which are present in limited quantity and once they get empty, they cannot be converted into new or it takes a lot of time for making them. That is known as non-renewable resources. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल कोल, पेट्रोलियम. इनकी लिमिटेड क्वांटिटी अर्थ पर प्रेजेंट है. अगर ये एक बार ख़त्म हो जाएं तो इनको दोबारा बनाने में लाखों वर्ष लग जाएंगे. उसे हम कहते हैं नॉन रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज, जिनको बनाना दोबारा बहुत मुश्किल है. जैसे कोल, पेट्रोलियम, इनको दोबारा बनाना पड़ेगा तो इसमें हज़ारों वर्ष लग जाएंगे. तो ये हमारे कौन से रिसोर्सेज हैं? नॉन रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज. Second, classification on the basis of origin. First is biotic. All those resources which are obtained from biosphere and have life are known as biotic resources. For example, forest, livestock are the example of renewable biotic resources. Coal and mineral oil are example of new non-renewable resources, abiotic. Those resources which are non-living, जो अजीवित हैं, जीवित नहीं हैं, and those resources which are useful, valuable, that are called as a abiotic resources. For example, minerals, water, sunlight. Third is classification on the basis of utility. A. Energy resources. All those which provide energy are called energy resources. Example, wood, coal, mineral, oil, natural gas. B. Raw material resources. Those resources which provide raw material, जो हमें कच्चा माल देते हैं इंडस्ट्रीज को, that is a raw material resources like jute, rubber, copper, iron and animals. Fourth is on the basis of ownership. A. Individual resources. Resources which are owned by private individuals are known as individual resources. जो किसी की अपनी प्राइवेट चीज़ है उसे हम कहते हैं इंडिविजुअल रिसोर्सेज। जैसे हम कोई प्लॉट खरीदते हैं, हम कोई हाउस खरीदते हैं, कार खरीदते हैं, कोई बुक्स खरीदते हैं, तो ये हमारी अपनी प्रॉपर्टी हैं, इस पे किसी दूसरे का हक नहीं है, ये हमारी प्रॉपर्टी है, इसलिए हम इसे बोलेंगे इंडिविजुअल रिसोर्सेज। बी कम्युनिटी owned resources, resources which are accessible to all the members of the community। जो वस्तु सबके मिलकर यूज़ करने के लिए हो उसे हम कहते हैं कम्युनिटी ओन्ड रिसोर्सेज। फॉर एग्जांपल पब्लिक पार्क्स, जैसे हमारे शहर में फ़िश पार्क है, वहाँ पे सभी जाते हैं मिलकर, तो वो पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी है। और प्लेग्राउंड जहाँ पर हम खेलने के लिए जाते हैं, जैसे इधर हमारा गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज है, वहाँ पर प्लेग्राउंड है, वहाँ पर हम सभी मिलकर खेलते हैं। तो ये एग्जांपल्स हैं कम्युनिटी ओन्ड रिसोर्सेज के। सी इज़ नेशनल रिसोर्सेज, रिसोर्सेज विच आर अंडर द control of the state or the union government are called national resources. D. International resources, resources which are owned and regulated by international institutions, that is called international resources. Next is on the basis of state of development. A. Potential resources, resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized due to lack of capital or other reasons। हमें पता है कि रिसोर्सेज है पर हमें पता नहीं है कि कितनी क्वांटिटी में है। वो नेचुरल रिसोर्स और फ्यूचर में हो सकता है कि हम उसे यूज़ कर सकें, वही पोटेंशियल रिसोर्स है। बी इज़ डेवलप्ड रिसोर्सेज, resources which are well developed and are ready to use are developed resources. For example, rivers, forests, petroleum, etc. Stock resources, resources which are non-renewable and exhaust on use. These are expressed in tons, etc. Example, coal, petroleum. Reserves, resources which are kept for future consumption based on needs. Next is how to conserve resources. Keep in mind they are limited and will end. Use it carefully, give them time to get renewed. Sustainable development. Balancing the need to use resources and preserve for future is called sustainable development. Principles. Respect and care for all forms of life. Second, improve the quality of human life. Third, conserve the earth's diversity. Fourth, minimize depletion of natural resources. Last, change personal attitude practices towards the environment. Thank you and have a nice day.